what did I think about LL Cool J saying he's the best rapper ever? He was quoted as saying this recently. What did I think about that? Delusion is good grandeur. Now, I think Ice Cube could make a strong case if we factor in your multifaceted career outside of just doing music. I think LL is talking about, well, you factor in 84. But cats have been hitting since back then. They're still putting out product. LL did have hits all the way from 80s, 90s, 00s. And I think he came out with something on one ones. Doesn't necessarily mean it was peak and prime. His peak and his prime was 80s and the 90s. He still had some hits in the one ones, and the 00s. But I know what he's getting at. He got a case as one of the greatest rappers ever. The pros for him is longevity, battle rap, albums when they mattered, none of the ghost appearances, and he battled live on stage. He came out classic song, classic albums. He also had the peaks and valleys. And remember, Walking with the Panther, which was a shift in hip hop in the late 80s, which almost derailed his career. Then he had one of the greatest comebacks when Mama Said Knock You Out when he said, Don't call it a comeback. So you think about where he was, how he was able to flip, you know, what he was able to do as an artist. So that's true. The knocks against him is that he mainly had appeal. He was considered his appeal was mainly a lot more women were more towards his style. Um, he wasn't the deepest thinker. He wasn't a political kind of cat per se, except for Booming System, which he did with EPMD. He didn't have a lot of deep depth thoughts in his songs. I'm Bad did have a message, but a lot of his songs were pretty much nonchalant, commercialized, didn't really ever straddle the envelope. When he did try that corny song with Brad Paisley, he hit some backlash. He was not going to be mistaken for Chuck D or for what Ice Cube was putting down. He wasn't that deep. So that's a knock against him. And he was very commercial parody oriented. And he had a formula of sing song things that he did, etc. So that worked against him. Of course, he was also the father of the slow jams in hip hop with I Need Love. Him and Heavy D both around the same time. So he had the slow jams for hip hop. He was like doing his thing in that regard. So take that how you want. His book was very distinctive. He had a book that was out, and of course his film career, his TV career. Of course, you know all about him, what he's doing in TV, and in that aspect. He's still trying to vie for some kind of, you know, that he still's trying to talk that talk, even though it's not the same. We're not buying you at this stage and what have you, trying to rap loud and hard and throw off dookie chains and, you know, and still trying to flex. But much respect for what he's done. And he is in my all time top five, maybe top four most important rappers ever. However, to say he's the best rapper ever, um, mm, it's debatable. But I don't think he is. He says people ain't gonna know what they got what they have. I think he's one of the greatest ever. It's hard to say you the best. Now, before you get into left in the room, yeah, he's 100 times better than Jay-Z before you even ask. Because he had better songs, better structure. I felt him better on stage, and he did everything. So I will give him that. I think people like him. I think people like Ice Cube. I think people like Rakim, Chuck D. Those are the ones I would put in those kind of categories. There's a difference between cats that are skill set, and then there's also iconics, the ones that their whole totality makes them influential and impactful. That's where the Snoops of the world come in. That's where Tupac comes in the world. So they're different. I think Nas is one of those guys that I would put with LL and put him with Ice Cube and so that thing because his skill set, longevity, and impact, I can make a case for in classic songs and albums. He's in that argument though. It's hard not to have LL Cool J if you understand the totality of hip hop, how long you've been around, what he meant, what he did. I just don't know about calling yourself the best ever. That's a bit of a reach and a stretch because the criterias are different, and we have so much to choose from within that. So I don't know if I would do that, but I say he definitely belongs in the conversation. But when you consider his impact on albums, the songs, the changing of style of hip hop, it's one thing when you came out went there a whole lot, and then you went to the East Coast West Coast, the South, Midwest, but to still have a presence and still be. And you could see his influence on someone like Nelly. You could definitely tell he went to the LL Cool J school of hip hop because you weren't the deepest thinker, but you had party cuts and you had songs where you could battle and flow. You were middle of the road, but yet you were cool. You had a certain aura that worked. So, and it allowed yourself to be versatile within what your lane. So he had a distinctive lane. So, but anyway, tell me what you think. You agree or disagree with LL Cool J saying he's the best rapper that's ever lived? And tell me below if you have a top five, top 10, because I don't want more than 10. And where you rank him? Overrated, underrated? Some people I know don't think he really did beat Kool Moe Dee in those battles back in the day. I still remember when him and Mo D went at it. And to this day, Kool Moe Dee told me more words that started with the letter L. I haven't heard nobody since match what Mo D did that night as far as that diss. And I'm not saying LL didn't surpass him overall for career and longevity and hits and all that. But far as the diss track go, I don't know about that. As far as him and Ice-T, they both parallel careers when you factor in the longevity and the versatility. But I think LL got him beat as far as the music go because LL stuck with it more and had more impact. But again, it's all subjective. But you tell me what you think. Please hit like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share the video if you like it. That membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay true, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.